You're nothing but a toilet-scrubbing failure who couldn't cut it as a real soldier." The words hit like a grenade across Fort Campbell's training facility. 63 soldiers watched as celebrity martial arts instructor Derek Lawson grabbed a 74-year-old janitor by the collar and threw him to the mat like garbage. The old man's hands trembled. His eyes went distant. PTSD flooding back from jungles 50 years gone. What Lawson didn't know, what none of them knew, was that the trembling janitor had killed more men in Vietnam than Lawson had Instagram followers, and the woman descending from the observation deck with murder in her eyes. She was about to teach this black belt what real combat looked like. Before we continue, subscribe to our channel and follow this story to the very end. Comment your city below so I can see how far this story travels. The fluorescent lights hummed like dying insects above Fort Campbell's premier training facility. Staff Sergeant Maya Torres stood in the observation deck doorway, clipboard pressed against her chest, watching the spectacle below with growing disgust. 6 weeks. 6 weeks she'd been documenting complaints against Derek Lawson. 17 formal reports, all buried, all disappeared into the Pentagon's black hole of protected names and powerful fathers. Derek Lawson stood center mat chest puffed beneath a compression shirt 2 sizes too small. His Ranger tab tattoo caught the light every time he flexed, which was constantly. 2 million YouTube subscribers. Verified Instagram. The military's golden boy of combat training. He'd never seen actual combat. Not once. Maya had seen enough for both of them. The scars beneath her sleeves told stories that would give Derek nightmares, but she wasn't here to compare wounds. She was here to build a case. "Private Chen," Derek's voice cracked like a whip. "Front and center." A young woman stepped forward. 20 years old, maybe. Years old. Barely 5 feet tall. Her hands trembled as she took position on the mat. "Show me the defensive sequence I just demonstrated." Private Chen attempted the move. Her form was imperfect, but earnest. She was trying. Derek laughed. The sound echoed off concrete walls. "That's pathetic. Absolutely pathetic." He circled her like a shark. "You call that military bearing? My grandmother moves faster and she's been dead for 10 years. Soldiers shifted uncomfortably. Someone coughed. "Maybe women shouldn't be in combat roles at all." Derek said it loud enough for everyone to hear. "Too emotional. Too weak. You'd get your whole squad killed with movements like that." Private Chen's face burned red. Her eyes glistened, but she refused to cry. Not here. Not in front of 60 witnesses. Maya's pen nearly snapped in her grip. Complaint 18. Add it to the pile that would go nowhere. Derek shoved Private Chen aside. "Sit down before you embarrass yourself further." The young woman retreated to the wall, head bowed, shoulders hunched. A soldier beside her whispered something supportive. Small comfort in a room full of witnesses who wouldn't speak up. Maya made a note. Time-stamped, detailed, useless. That's when the door opened. Samuel Crawford entered, pushing a maintenance cart. 74 years old, though he looked older. White hair, weathered hands. Blue coveralls faded from 1,000 washes. He'd been the night custodian for 12 years. Invisible to most. Background noise in a world that had forgotten him. What nobody in that room knew, what the files didn't show, was that Samuel Crawford had once been one of the most decorated Green Berets in Vietnam War history. 3 tours, 2 Purple Hearts, Silver Star. The kind of soldier they wrote books about, except Sam had never wanted books written about him. He just wanted to clean floors in peace. "Excuse me." Sam's voice was gravel worn smooth by 7 decades. "Scheduled maintenance. I can come back." Derek turned slowly. His eyes swept over Sam with the kind of contempt usually reserved for insects. "Can't you see we're in the middle of training, old man?" Sam backed toward the door. "Yes, sir. My apologies. I'll return later." "You deaf or just stupid?" The room went silent. Maya's clipboard lowered, her body tensed. "Sir, I'm just doing my job." Sam's voice remained calm, but Maya caught something in his eyes. A flicker. Recognition of a threat. The old instincts never died. Derek crossed the mat in 4 strides. He didn't touch Sam, not yet, but he used every inch of his 6'2" frame to intimidate, loomed over the elderly man like a storm cloud. "This is my facility, my class. Your job doesn't matter here. You understand me?" "Yes, sir." "Then get out." Sam turned, made it 2 steps. Derek grabbed his shoulder, spun him, shoved. Not hard enough to be called assault, just hard enough to make a point, just hard enough to remind everyone watching who held the power. Sam stumbled. His hip caught the maintenance cart. His balance, compromised by age and old injuries, failed him. He went down in slow motion, hands reaching for something to grab, finding nothing but air. He hit the mat with a sound that echoed through the facility. The cart tipped, cleaning supplies scattered. A bottle of disinfectant rolled across the floor and stopped at Derek's feet. Clumsy old bastard. Derek looked at his students, smiled. This is what happens when you don't maintain readiness. You become useless, weak, a burden on everyone around you. Sam lay on the mat, his hands pressed flat against the rubber surface. Both were shaking now, not from the fall, but from something deeper. His breathing had changed. Faster. Shallower. Maya recognized it instantly. PTSD breathing. The old man wasn't just embarrassed. He'd been triggered, thrown back to a jungle 50 years ago, where falling meant dying, where enemies came from shadows, where young men screamed as they bled out in his arms. "Look at him." Derek's voice dripped with amusement. "Can't even stand up. This is why we need real warriors, not relics collecting government paychecks." He pulled out his phone, started recording. Content gold, boys, the janitor who peaked in the previous century. 63 phones came out. Recording. Sharing. The old man's humiliation about to go viral. Something snapped inside Maya Torres. She was moving before the decision fully formed. Down the stairs, through the door, boots silent on the mat. Enough. Not loud, but it carried. Every head turned. Derek's recording stopped. His eyes narrowed. Small woman. Contractor badge. Dark hair pulled back military tight. A scar bisecting her left eyebrow. Nobody important. "Who the hell are you?" Maya walked past him without acknowledgement. Knelt beside Sam. Her hands were gentle but efficient, checking his pulse, his pupils assessing with the practiced ease of someone who'd done field medicine under fire. "Sir, are you hurt?" Sam looked up. His gray eyes met hers, and something passed between them. The recognition when one operator sees another. He didn't know her story yet, but he knew her type. The real thing. "I'm fine, miss, just clumsy." "You're not clumsy, and you're not fine." She helped him sit up. "Take your time." "I said, who are you?" Derek stepped closer, shadow falling over them. Maya finished helping Sam to a sitting position. Then she stood, turned, looked at Derek Lawson with an expression that made several soldiers step back unconsciously. "I'm the person telling you to apologize." Derek blinked, then laughed. It was the kind of laugh that expected others to join in. A few soldiers did nervous, uncertain before falling silent. Apologize to him. Derek gestured at Sam like he was pointing at garbage. Lady, do you have any idea who I am? Derek Lawson, dishonorably discharged Ranger candidate who never completed the program. Third-degree black belt from a strip mall dojo in Tampa. Currently under investigation for 17 abuse complaints that your father keeps burying. Maya's voice was flat, reciting facts. 2 million YouTube subscribers who think you're a warrior. 0 actual combat deployments. 0 confirmed kills. 0 real-world experience outside of choreographed demonstrations. The room went completely silent. Derek's face shifted through several colors. Who do you think you're talking to? A bully with a certificate, still just a bully. I'm a combat instructor. You're a performer. Maya stepped forward. Big difference. Anyone can look dangerous when their opponent is reading from the same script. Derek moved closer. Close enough that everyone could see the size difference. Close enough to intimidate. He'd used this move 1,000 times. It always worked. It didn't work on Maya Torres. You've got guts, I'll give you that. His voice dropped to something he probably thought sounded threatening. But guts won't help you when I decide to demonstrate real combat techniques on someone who doesn't know how to fall. Is that a threat? It's a promise. Then keep it. Maya didn't blink. Right here, right now. On this mat. Murmurs rippled through the soldiers. Someone said, "Holy shit," just loud enough to be heard. Derek's smile spread slowly. The smile of a predator who'd just spotted easy prey. You want to fight me, little thing like you? I want you to apologize to this man. Maya gestured to Sam, who was now standing with help from Private Chen, who'd rushed forward when no one else would. But since your ego won't allow basic human decency, I'll make it simple. She stepped onto the mat. You last 60 seconds against me, I apologize to you, in front of everyone. On video. And she gestured to all the phones still recording. But when you tap out, and you will tap out, you apologize to him. And then you resign. Tonight. No Pentagon daddy, no buried complaints, no more students for you to abuse. When I tap out, Derek laughed again, but it was hollow now. Forced. Lady, I've put down men twice your size. Then this should be easy. Maya removed her contractor badge, set it aside. Unless you're scared. The word hit like a slap. Derek's jaw tightened. You know what, fine? He cracked his neck, rolled his shoulders. I'm going to enjoy this. What's your name? I want to know whose career I'm about to end. Maya Torres. A soldier near the wall inhaled sharply, whispered something to the person next to him. The whisper spread. Torres. Derek's confidence flickered for half a second. Why do I know that name? You don't. Maya stretched her arms. And after tonight you won't forget it either. Torres. Another soldier spoke up, couldn't help himself. Sergeant Major Antonio Torres, the ghost of Quezon. She has to be quiet. Maya's voice cut through the speculation. This isn't about my family. This is about him. She pointed at Sam. About every soldier in this room who's been afraid to report abuse. About every private humiliated for not being perfect on their first try. She looked at Derek. About bullies who think rank and connections make them untouchable. Derek's composure was cracking, but his pride wouldn't let him back down. 63 phones recording, 2 million subscribers watching, his reputation on the line. 60 seconds. He stepped onto the mat. You won't last 10. Maya settled into her stance, relaxed. patient. Her weight-centered hands loose at her sides. "Clock starts when you move." Derek moved. He came fast. Textbook combination jab, cross, spinning back, kick. All flash, all performance. The kind of moves that looked devastating on YouTube and fell apart against anyone who'd actually been in a fight. Maya slipped the jab, parried the cross, stepped inside the kick's arc where it had no power, didn't counter, just watched. Derek reset. Came again. Faster this time, more aggressive, combination after combination. Each one technically perfect. Each one missing its target by inches. Maya moved like water, flowing around his attacks. Reading him, learning him. Her grandfather's voice echoed in her head. "First rule, mija. Everyone has a tell. Find it." She found it. Derek favored his right side. Every combination ended with his weight shifting right. Old injury, maybe? Bad habit, definitely. Second rule. Make them think they're winning. Derek was breathing hard now. 30 seconds in. She hadn't thrown a single strike. "Stand still and fight!" Frustration crept into his voice. "Stop running!" "I'm not running." Maya's breath was even, conversational. "I'm waiting." "For what?" "For you to realize you're not as good as you think you are." He charged, abandoned technique. Pure rage now. Haymaker that would have dropped an elephant if it landed. Maya leaned back. The fist passed close enough to feel the wind. Third rule. When they lose control, end it. Derek's momentum carried him forward. Off balance, vulnerable. Maya struck. Palm heel to his solar plexus. Not full force, just enough to fold him. As he doubled over, she grabbed his wrist, rotated, used his own weight against him. Classic Aikido. Simple, elegant, devastating. Derek flew through the air, hit the mat hard. The breath exploded from his lungs. Before he could recover, Maya was on him, knee on his spine, arm twisted behind him at an angle that sent lightning bolts of pain through his shoulder. 43 seconds. Her voice was steady, calm. "You lasted 43 seconds against a woman half your size who hasn't even started trying yet." "Get off me," Derek thrashed. Made it worse. The arm lock tightened. "Apologize." "Screw you." Maya adjusted her grip, just slightly. Derek screamed. "I can dislocate your shoulder right now. You'll spend 6 months in physical therapy. Your YouTube career ends tonight." She leaned close to his ear. "Or you can apologize to the man you assaulted, resign your position, and walk out of here with your arms still attached. Choose." "My father will have you arrested." "Your father can't save you. The Inspector General already has copies of every complaint, every buried report, every video of you abusing soldiers." Maya's voice hardened. "You're not protected anymore, Derek. You're exposed. And these 63 phones just recorded you losing to a woman you outweigh by 70 pounds. Derek's thrashing slowed, the reality setting in. "What's it going to be?" Silence stretched. Every soldier held their breath. "Fine." Derek's voice was broken, humiliated. "Fine, I'm sorry. Not to me." Maya released just enough pressure for him to turn his head. "To him." She pointed at Sam, still standing by the wall. The old man who'd been invisible his whole life. The Green Beret no one remembered. The veteran who cleaned toilets because the world had forgotten what he sacrificed. Derek looked at Sam. Something ugly passed across his face. Resentment, hatred, wounded pride, but survival instincts overrode everything else. "I'm sorry." The words came out like poison. "I shouldn't have. I'm sorry." Maya held the position for 2 more seconds, long enough for the apology to settle, long enough for everyone to understand what they'd witnessed. Then she released him, stood, stepped back. Derek scrambled away, clutching his shoulder, face purple with rage and shame. "Resignation letter on the commander's desk by 0800. Maya brushed off her hands. "If it's not there, every video in this room goes to the Inspector General CNN and the Senate Armed Services Committee. Your father's stars won't protect either of you from what comes next." She walked to Sam. The old man was staring at her with an expression she couldn't quite read. "Are you okay, sir?" Sam nodded slowly. His hands had stopped shaking. For the first time in years, they were still. "Who are you?" His voice was barely a whisper. Someone who should have stepped in sooner. She gathered the scattered cleaning supplies, placed them back on the cart, righted the cart itself. "Ma'am?" Private Chen stepped forward, voice stronger now. That was overdue." Maya turned to the young woman. "You did good helping him when no one else would. Remember that feeling? The next time someone needs you to stand up." Chen nodded, eyes bright with something that might have been hope. Maya walked toward the exit. Behind her, the facility remained silent. 63 soldiers frozen, processing what they'd witnessed. At the door, she paused, turned back. Derek was still on the mat, surrounded by students who'd feared him 5 minutes ago, and now looked at him like he was nothing. "Lawson," Maya's voice carried across the room. "Get that shoulder checked. I might have left a bruise." She walked out. The silence held for 10 full seconds. Then Private Chen started clapping. Slow at first, then faster. Another soldier joined, then another. Within moments, the room erupted. Not cheering, something deeper. The sound of pressure releasing, of fear breaking, of people held underwater, finally breathing. Derek Lawson lay in the center of it all, listening to soldiers applaud his destruction. Maya sat in her truck. 20 minutes later, hands on the wheel, breathing slowly. Her phone was already exploding. The video had hit social media within seconds of her leaving the facility. Comments flooding in, shares multiplying. She didn't want fame, didn't want attention. She wanted justice, and justice required shadows, not spotlights. But it was too late now. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She answered without thinking. "Sergeant Torres. This is Jennifer Wallace from CBS News. We'd love to get your comment on..." Maya hung up. Another buzz. Different number. "Miss Torres, Brian Chen from Military Times." She hung up again. 17 more calls in 5 minutes. She turned the phone off, leaned her head back against the seat, closed her eyes. What have you done? The question had no answer, or too many answers. She'd defended a veteran, exposed an abuser, started a fire she couldn't control. Somewhere out there, powerful people were making calls. General Lawson would be mobilizing every connection. The Pentagon's protection racket would be circling wagons. And somewhere in those shadows, other things were watching too. Things Maya had spent years running from. Things that had nothing to do with Derek Lawson or his father. The video was everywhere now. Her face, her name, her family connection. The ghost of Kei-san's granddaughter. Some ghosts Maya knew weren't just stories. Some ghosts were still hunting. And now they knew exactly where to find her. Her apartment was dark when she got home. 2 rooms, sparse furnishing, No photographs on the walls except one her grandfather in his dress uniform taken the day he earned his 3rd Silver Star. She'd been 16 when he died, the last real family she had. Maya poured herself bourbon. Didn't drink it, just held the glass, letting the amber liquid catch lamplight. A knock at the door. 3 sharp raps. She checked her watch. 01:30 hours. No one knocked at 01:30 hours with good news. Maya grabbed her service pistol from the drawer, approached the door, checked the peephole. Samuel Crawford stood in the hallway, still in his custodial coveralls, holding a manila envelope thick with age. She opened the door. "How did you know where I live?" Sam's gray eyes met hers. "I was Green Beret, miss. Finding things is what we did." "It's late, Mr. Crawford." "I know." He held out the envelope. "But this can't wait. Not anymore." Maya studied him. The trembling was gone from his hands. His posture had changed, straightened somehow, like witnessing her fight had reminded him of something he'd forgotten. "What is this?" "Your grandfather gave it to me 3 years ago, right before he died." Sam's voice cracked slightly. "He made me promise. Said to give it to you when you were ready." A pause. "After tonight, I think you're ready." Maya took the envelope. It was heavy, worn at the edges. "You knew my grandfather. We served together. Quezon, Hamburger Hill. 3 tours." Sam's eyes went distant. "He saved my life more times than I can count, and I couldn't save him when it mattered." Maya's grip tightened on the envelope. "What do you mean, it's all in there?" Sam stepped back. "Everything your grandfather discovered before he died. Everything he couldn't finish." His voice dropped to barely a whisper. "Everything that's about to come after you." "What's coming after me?" Sam looked at her for a long moment. "The same thing that killed your grandfather, miss. He didn't die of cancer, no matter what the doctor said." His jaw tightened. "Antonio Torres was murdered, and the people who did it, they just watched you take down Colonel Lawson's son on live video." Maya's blood went cold. "They know who you are now." Sam was already backing toward the stairs. "They know whose blood runs in your veins, and they're coming." "Wait, Mr. Crawford." But the old man was gone. Vanished into the shadows of the hallway like he'd never been there at all. Maya stood in her doorway holding an envelope that suddenly felt like a bomb. She looked at the photograph of her grandfather. The ghost of Quezon stared back at her with eyes that seemed to say, "It's time, mija. Time to learn the truth." She opened the envelope. The documents spilled across Maya's kitchen table like secrets too heavy to hold any longer. Photographs, military records, intercepted communications, hand-drawn maps with coordinates circled in red ink that had faded to rust over 3 years. Her grandfather's handwriting covered dozens of pages. Meticulous notes. Names she recognized. Names that made her stomach turn. Maya's hands trembled as she picked up the first photograph. A group of officers in dress uniforms standing outside the Pentagon. Her grandfather had circled 3 faces, written beneath each compromised. One of them was Colonel Victor Lawson. "My God!" The words escaped before she could stop them. "Grandpa, what did you find?" She read through the night. Coffee grew cold. The bourbon remained untouched. Page after page revealed a conspiracy that stretched back decades. Her grandfather had discovered a network, 12 military officers selling classified information to foreign intelligence, training protocols, operator identities, deployment schedules, the kind of information that got American soldiers killed. 3 had already died because of leaks. Antonio Torres had documented everything. Names, Dates, bank transfers to offshore accounts, coded communications intercepted through contacts he'd maintained since Vietnam. And at the center of it all sat Colonel Victor Lawson. Derek wasn't just an abusive instructor. He was a conduit. His training videos contained hidden messages. His social media following provided cover for encrypted communications. Maya found a letter near the bottom of the stack. Her grandfather's final words to her. Mija, if you're reading this, I'm gone and you're ready. I spent the last years of my life trying to expose these men through proper channels. Every report buried, every whistleblower silenced. They killed Rodriguez in 2019, made it look like a car accident. Martinez in 2020, heart attack. They'll say I died of cancer. Maybe they're right. Maybe the stress of knowing and not being able to stop them ate me alive from the inside. I couldn't finish this. But you can. You're stronger than all of us. Sam Crawford will help. He's carried guilt for 50 years because he thinks he failed me in Vietnam. He didn't. I made him leave. I ordered him to survive. Now I'm ordering you don't let my death be meaningless. Expose them, Maya. Burn it all down. And be careful. They're watching. They've always been watching. Te amo, mija. Make me proud. Grandpa Maya read the letter 3 times. Each time the words cut deeper. Her grandfather hadn't died of cancer. He'd been murdered. Slowly. Quietly. Made to look natural while he tried to expose traitors within his own military. And now she'd put herself on their radar by humiliating the colonel's son on viral video. Her phone buzzed. She'd turned it back on without thinking. The number was blocked. She answered anyway. Miss Torres. A man's voice. Calm. Professional. We need to talk. Who is this? Someone who's been watching the Lawson network for 2 years. Someone who knew your grandfather. Someone who can help you finish what he started. Maya's grip tightened on the phone. Why should I trust you? Because I'm about to tell you something the official reports don't say. A pause. Your parents didn't die in a car accident either. Maya's blood turned to ice. What did you say? 0600, the diner on 4th Street. Come alone. We have a lot to discuss, Staff Sergeant Torres. The line went dead. Maya stared at the phone. Her parents. Dead since she was 3 years old. Car accident on a rainy night in Virginia. That's what she'd been told. That's what she'd believed for 29 years. Her hands were shaking now. Not from fear, from rage. She looked at her grandfather's photograph. What else didn't you tell me? The diner was nearly empty at 0600. 3 truckers at the counter. A waitress who looked like she'd been working since the Nixon administration. Maya took a booth in the back corner where she could see both entrances. She didn't have to wait long. The woman who slid into the seat across from her was 50-ish Asian American, dressed in a gray suit that screamed federal agent, sharp eyes that missed nothing. Staff Sergeant Torres, thank you for coming. You're not a man. I'm Agent Rachel Kim, CIA. She slid credentials across the table. The man you spoke with is my partner. He's watching the street. We've learned to be careful. Maya examined the ID. Looked authentic. But then everything about the Lawson network had looked authentic too. You knew my grandfather. I recruited him. Rachel's voice carried genuine regret. 2 years ago, he came to us with evidence of the Lawson network. We'd been investigating separately. He provided the missing pieces. And then he died. And then they killed him. Rachel didn't sugarcoat it. Made it look like natural causes. We couldn't prove anything. They're good at this, Torres. They've had decades to practice. Maya pushed the folder she'd brought across the table. His files. Everything he collected. Rachel opened it, flipped through pages. Her expression remained neutral, but Maya caught the slight widening of her eyes. He had more than we knew. Much more. Rachel looked up. This is actionable intelligence. With this we can… What about my parents? The question hung between them. Rachel closed the folder, took a breath. Your father was Army intelligence, Captain David Torres. He discovered the network's earliest incarnation in 1994. Started building a case. She paused. They killed him before he could finish. Made it look like an accident. Your mother was collateral damage. Maya felt the world tilt sideways. 29 years of believing a lie. 29 years of thinking her parents died in a random tragedy. Your grandfather raised you because he knew the truth. He kept it from you to protect you. Rachel's voice softened slightly. He spent 30 years gathering evidence, waiting until you were old enough to finish what your father started. 3 generations. Maya's voice was hollow. They've killed 3 generations of my family. And now they know about you. Rachel leaned forward. The viral video. Your name. Your connection to Antonio Torres. Colonel Lawson has already made calls. The network is mobilizing. Let them come. That's exactly what I was hoping you'd say. Rachel pulled out a second folder. We have an operation planned. Unofficial, unsanctioned. If it works, we take down all 12 officers and expose the entire network. If it fails, you don't exist. Neither do I. Maya opened the folder. Photographs, tactical assessments, a timeline. What do you need from me? We need someone inside. Someone who can get close to Derek Lawson, gain his trust, and gather evidence we can't access from the outside. Rachel's eyes locked onto Maya's. We need someone he already has reason to trust. He hates me. I humiliated him on video. Exactly. Rachel smiled without warmth. Which is why when you approach him tomorrow and offer to make it all go away, he'll listen. His father is pressuring him to contain the damage. You're the damage. If you offer to help contain yourself, he'll be suspicious, but curious. You want me to pretend to be turned, offer to work with them. I want you to infiltrate a network that's killed American soldiers and murdered your family for 3 generations. Rachel's voice hardened. I want you to get evidence we can use to prosecute them all, and then I want you to burn it to the ground. Maya looked at the tactical plans, the risk assessment, the probability of success, 30%, at best. What happens if I'm caught? You disappear. No rescue, no acknowledgement, no body recovered. Rachel didn't flinch. This is the deal, Torres. Take it or leave it. Maya thought about her grandfather, her father, her mother she couldn't even remember. She thought about Sam Crawford carrying guilt for 50 years. She thought about Private Chen humiliated by a bully who would never face consequences through normal channels. When do we start? Rachel slid a phone across the table. Already have. Check your messages. Maya opened the phone. A single text from an unknown number. Miss Torres, my father wants to meet. Discuss a resolution. Tomorrow, 1900, his private office. Come alone. D. Lawson. He reached out first. Maya looked up. His father forced him to. They need to control the narrative. You're the wild card. Rachel stood. Play the role Torres. Pretend you're scared. Pretend their power impresses you. Pretend you can be bought. And if I can't, then you join the list of Torres family members who died trying to expose them. Rachel's voice was cold, final. Don't join that list. She walked out without looking back. Maya sat alone in the booth, holding a phone that felt like a loaded weapon. The waitress came over. Asked if she wanted coffee. Maya ordered coffee she wouldn't drink. Then she started memorizing the tactical plans. Sam was waiting outside her apartment when she returned. He looked different in daylight, less frail, more alert. The Green Beret who'd survived 3 tours in Vietnam still lived beneath the surface. You opened it. Not a question. You knew what was inside, some of it, not all. Sam fell into step beside her. Your grandfather kept secrets from everyone. Even me. Maya unlocked her door, hesitated. They killed my parents. Did you know that too? Sam's face crumbled. For just a moment, the tough old soldier disappeared, replaced by a man drowning in grief he'd carried for 3 decades. I suspected. Antonio never confirmed it, but I suspected. And you didn't tell me. How could I? Sam's voice broke. How do you tell a child that everything she believes is a lie, that her family has been hunted for generations, that the grandfather who raised her kept her in the dark because the truth would get her killed? Maya felt anger rising, pushed it down. Sam wasn't the enemy. He was another victim. Come inside. Tell me everything. They talked for hours. Sam filled in gaps the files couldn't explain. The history of the Lawson network, its origins in the Cold War, the way it had evolved, adapted, buried itself deeper into the military's infrastructure. 12 officers. Sam's voice was tired. That's what Antonio believed. Maybe more. They recruit through blackmail, photographs, affairs, financial desperation. Once you're in, you never get out. Derek's father. How did they get him? Germany, 1995. Lawson was a major then. Had an affair with a local national. The network got photographs. Threatened to expose him unless he played along. Sam shook his head. He's been their Pentagon protector ever since. Burying investigations. Promoting their people. Eliminating threats. Like my grandfather. Like your grandfather. Sam's eyes glistened. Antonio fought them for 30 years. They wore him down. By the end, he knew he couldn't win through official channels, so he documented everything and waited for you. Maya looked at the files spread across her table. 3 generations of evidence. 3 generations of sacrifice. I'm meeting with Colonel Lawson tomorrow. Going undercover. Sam's face went white. That's suicide. It's the only way. Maya. Sam used her first name for the first time. These people killed your parents. They killed Antonio. They'll kill you too. Then I die trying. Maya's voice was steel. But I won't die ignorant. I won't die in the dark like my father. I won't die slowly like my grandfather. She looked at Sam. I'll die fighting. And I'll take as many of them with me as I can. Sam stared at her for a long moment. Then something shifted in his expression. A decision made. Then I'm coming with you. You're 74 years old. And I've been waiting 74 years to die for something that matters. Sam's jaw set. Your grandfather ordered me to survive in Vietnam. I've been surviving ever since. Running, hiding, cleaning toilets while the men who killed my brothers walk free. His voice hardened. No more running. Whatever happens next, I'm with you. Maya saw something in his eyes, the same fire she felt in her own chest. Okay. She extended her hand. Partners. Sam took it. His grip was stronger than she expected. Partners. That night, Maya dreamed of her grandfather. He stood in uniform, young and strong, the way he looked in photographs from Vietnam. He didn't speak. Just looked at her with eyes full of pride and sorrow. Behind him stood others. Her father young and determined. Her mother beautiful and fierce. Soldiers she didn't recognize but somehow knew. All the Torres fighters who'd come before. They watched her, waiting. She woke at 400 covered in sweat, heart pounding. The meeting with Colonel Lawson was in 15 hours. She spent the day preparing, memorizing her cover story, practicing her expressions, becoming the scared woman they expected her to be. At 18:30, she dressed carefully, professional but not threatening, approached the base headquarters with appropriate nervousness. Colonel Victor Lawson's office was on the 3rd floor. Wood paneling, American flag, photographs with politicians and generals. Derek sat in a corner arm in a sling from their fight. His eyes burned with hatred when Maya entered. Colonel Lawson remained seated. Silver hair, distinguished features. The kind of face that inspired trust in people who didn't know better. "Miss Torres, thank you for coming." "Did I have a choice? We always have choices." Lawson gestured to a chair. "Please sit. We have much to discuss." Maya sat, kept her hands visible, played nervous. "I assume you've seen the video views. 50 million. And climbing." Lawson's voice was pleasant, almost friendly. "Quite the situation you've created." "I was defending a veteran. Your son assaulted an elderly man." Derek shifted. His father silenced him with a look. "My son made mistakes. He'll face appropriate consequences." Lawson steepled his fingers. "But you, Miss Torres, you're the interesting variable. Contractor badge, combat evaluator position. Yet your file suggests capabilities far beyond that role." Maya's heart rate increased, controlled it. "I'm just doing my job. Your grandfather was Antonio Torres, the ghost of Quezon. 3 silver stars, 2 purple hearts, legend of military intelligence." Lawson's eyes sharpened. "His granddaughter just happens to be evaluating training protocols at my base. Coincidence?" "My grandfather died 3 years ago. I needed work. Fort Campbell was hiring. And the way you dismantled my son 60 seconds against a 3rd-degree black belt, that's just natural talent." Maya let fear show on her face, real fear channeled for performance. "What do you want, Colonel?" Lawson smiled, the smile of a predator who'd spotted weakness. "I want to make this go away, Miss Torres. The video, the complaints, all of it." He leaned forward. "And I want you to help me do it." "Why would I help you?" "Because your career depends on it. Because your contractor license can be revoked with 1 phone call. Because I have friends in places that can make your life very difficult." His smile never wavered. "Or because I can make it very easy. Your choice." Maya pretended to consider. Let the silence stretch. "What would I have to do?" "Recant your statement. Say the video was taken out of context. Apologize to Derek publicly." Lawson gestured casually. "In return, I ensure your contract is renewed, perhaps even expanded. We could use someone with your skills in our training program." The trap was obvious. Work for them or be destroyed. Maya let her shoulders slump. Defeat in her body language. "I need time to think." "Of course." Lawson stood, extended his hand. "Take until tomorrow morning. But Miss Torres, choose wisely. I'm offering you an opportunity. The alternative is considerably less pleasant." Maya shook his hand, felt the cold calculation behind his pleasant expression. "I understand, sir." She walked out, made it to her car before her hands started shaking. Not from fear, from rage. They'd killed her family, murdered soldiers, sold out their country, and they sat in wood-paneled offices shaking hands like businessmen. Her phone buzzed. Rachel Kim. "Well?" "I'm in." Maya started the car. "He wants me to recant, work for them. I played scared." "Good. What's your read?" "He's arrogant. Thinks he's untouchable. Derek is the weak link, emotional, impulsive. If I can get close to him, get him to trust me, he'll make mistakes. Then get close, fast. Our intelligence suggests they're moving something big in 72 hours. We don't know what. I'll find out. Maya ended the call. Drove in silence. 72 hours. 3 days to infiltrate a network that had killed her family for 30 years. She thought about her grandfather's letter. Don't let my death be meaningless. She thought about Sam's words. I've been waiting 74 years to die for something that matters. She thought about every soldier killed because of leaked intelligence. 3 days. Maya Torres had work to do. Maya called Colonel Lawson at 0700 the next morning. Her voice carried the perfect mix of resignation and fear. I'll do it. Whatever you need. Lawson's satisfaction oozed through the phone. Wise decision, Miss Torres. Meet Derek at the training facility at 1400. He'll explain your new responsibilities. She hung up, looked at Sam across the kitchen table. It's done. I'm in. Sam nodded slowly. His coffee sat untouched, steam rising like ghosts. What's the play? Get close to Derek. Make him trust me. Find out what they're moving in 72 hours. Maya checked her weapon, holstered it beneath her jacket. Rachel's team will be monitoring from a distance. If I find actionable intelligence, we move. And if they figure out you're playing them, Maya met his eyes, then you make sure their files reach every news outlet in the country. Sam's jaw tightened. Maya, promise me, Sam, if I don't make it back, you finish this, no matter what. The old Green Beret held her gaze for a long moment, then nodded. I promise. Derek was waiting when Maya arrived at the training facility. His arm was still in a sling, and hatred radiated from him like heat from an open flame. But beneath the hatred, she caught something else. Curiosity. The mighty Maya Torres, and his voice dripped with contempt. Come to beg forgiveness. I came because your father made a convincing argument. Maya kept her tone neutral, submissive. I have bills to pay, a career to protect. Fighting you accomplished nothing. Derek stepped closer, close enough to intimidate. It didn't work, but Maya let her body language suggest otherwise. You humiliated me in front of 60 soldiers. You think I'm just going to forget that? I think you're going to do whatever your father tells you to do. Maya held his eyes. Just like me. Something flickered across Derek's face. A crack in the armor. For just a second, she glimpsed the boy beneath the bully, the son desperate for approval from a father who saw him as a tool. My father thinks you could be useful. Derek circled her slowly. I think you're a liability. Then convince him otherwise. Use me for whatever you need. I won't cause problems. Derek stopped circling, studied her with new interest. You know what I think? I think you're playing an angle. Nobody caves that fast. Maya let vulnerability show. Real vulnerability channeled for effect. 3 years ago, I lost my grandfather. He was the only family I had left. Since then, I've been surviving. That's all. Just surviving. She dropped her eyes. I don't have the energy to fight people like your father. I just want to be left alone. The lie tasted bitter on her tongue, but it landed. She saw Derek's posture shift slightly, the predator recognizing wounded prey. Fine. He pulled out his phone. You're going to record a statement. Apologize for the misunderstanding. Say the video was edited out of context. Now. Maya recorded the statement. Every word felt like swallowing broken glass. But Rachel had warned her this would happen. Build trust. Sacrifice pride. Get inside. When she finished, Derek watched the playback with satisfaction. Not bad. Almost believable. He pocketed the phone. My father wants you at dinner tonight. His house, 1900. Don't be late. What kind of dinner? Derek smiled. The first genuine smile she'd seen from him. The kind where you meet the family business. Welcome to the Team Torres. He walked away. Left her standing alone in the facility where everything had started. Maya's hands trembled. Not from fear. From the effort of not breaking his neck right there. Colonel Lawson's house was old money disguised as military modesty. Large enough to impress, restrained enough to avoid questions. Maya arrived at 1855, wearing the wire Rachel's team had provided. Testing, she murmured. Can you hear me? Rachel's voice crackled in her earpiece. Loud and clear. We're recording everything. Be careful. The door opened before Maya could knock. A woman in her 50s, elegant, cold-eyed, looked her up and down. You must be the Torres girl. I'm Patricia Lawson. Come in. And Maya followed her through hallways lined with military photographs and political memorabilia. Every surface screamed power. Influence, the accumulated weight of decades spent building an empire. The dining room held 6 people, Colonel Lawson at the head, Derek to his right, Patricia taking her seat, and 3 others Maya didn't recognize, 2 men in their 60s, 1 woman slightly younger. Miss Torres, Lawson gestured to an empty chair. Thank you for joining us. Please sit. Maya sat, felt the eyes of strangers measuring her worth. Allow me to introduce my colleagues. General Morrison recently retired from CENTCOM, Colonel Whitfield Pentagon Logistics, and Dr. Sarah Chen Defense Contractor Liaison. 3 more names, 3 more conspirators. Maya memorized their faces, their body language, their tells. We've reviewed your file, Morrison said. His voice carried the casual authority of someone who'd ordered men to their deaths from air-conditioned offices. Impressive combat record, special operations background. Shame about the incident with Derek. I'm hoping to move past that, sir. As are we all. Lawson raised his wine glass. To new partnerships. They drank. Maya barely touched hers. The dinner conversation was careful coded. References to shipments and timeline adjustments and overseas partners. Nothing explicit. Nothing recordable as evidence. Then Dr. Chen turned to Maya directly. Your grandfather was Antonio Torres, correct? The intelligence legend. Maya's stomach clenched. Yes, ma'am. We knew him, years ago before his retirement. Chen's smile didn't reach her eyes. Brilliant man. Shame about the cancer. Thank you. He never mentioned us, our work. The question hung in the air. A test. Maya felt the room's attention sharpen. My grandfather didn't discuss his work. He protected me from that world. She kept her voice steady. I only learned about his reputation after he passed. Chen studied her for a long moment, then nodded. Family loyalty. Admirable quality. She looked at Lawson. I approve. She'll be useful. Maya exhaled slowly. Test passed. For now. After dinner, Derek walked her to her car. The night air was cool, and somewhere an owl called into the darkness. You did well. Derek's voice held grudging respect. They're not easy to impress. Who are they exactly? People who matter. People who can make problems disappear. Derek leaned against her car door. And people who can make you disappear if you become a problem. Understand? I understand. Good. He handed her a phone. Burner. All communications go through this. Your old phone stays off when you're working with us. Maya took the phone. Another link in the chain. Another way to gather evidence. What do you need me to do? Derek's eyes gleamed in the darkness. Tomorrow night, we have a meeting. Important clients. Foreign nationals. They want to see American military training techniques up close. He smiled. You're going to give them a demonstration. What kind of demonstration? The kind that pays very, very well. Derek pushed off from the car. Pick you up at 1800. Wear something that moves. He walked back to the house without looking back. Maya sat in her car, heart pounding. Foreign nationals. Military training techniques. The pieces clicked together. The Lawson Network wasn't just selling information. They were selling access, demonstrations, teaching American combat techniques to foreign operatives. She pulled out her earpiece, spoke quietly. Rachel, did you get that? Every word, this is bigger than we thought. Rachel's voice was tight. We need to identify those clients. If they're who I think they are, who do you think they are? Silence. Then, Russian intelligence has been trying to acquire American close combat protocols for years. If Lawson is selling direct training, then American soldiers die. Maya finished the thought. Every technique they learn becomes a weapon against our own people. We need proof, video, documentation, something that ties the Lawsons directly to foreign agents. I'll get it. Maya. Rachel's voice softened slightly. Be careful. If they suspect anything, they won't. Maya started the car. I've been playing roles my whole life. This is just another one. She drove home through empty streets, mind racing through possibilities and dangers. Sam was waiting in her apartment. He stood when she entered, eyes searching her face for damage. How did it go? I'm in deeper than expected. Maya threw the burner phone on the table. They're not just selling secrets. They're training foreign operatives. Tomorrow night I'm supposed to demonstrate American combat techniques for their clients. Sam's face went pale. That's treason. Active operational treason. I know. Maya, if you go through with this demonstration, you're complicit. Even undercover, you'll be teaching enemies how to kill American soldiers. I won't actually teach them anything useful. Maya paced the small apartment. I'll modify the techniques, introduce flaws, give them just enough to believe they're learning while actually making them less effective. That's a dangerous game. It's the only game I have. She stopped pacing, looked at Sam. Unless you have a better idea. Sam was quiet for a long moment. Then he reached into his jacket and pulled out a small device. Black. Compact. Military grade. What is that? Signal jammer. Wide range. When activated, it blocks all communications within 500 meters. Sam set it on the table. I still have contacts, old Green Berets who owe me favors. If things go wrong tomorrow night, you activate this. It'll give you maybe 3 minutes of chaos before they realize what happened. 3 minutes isn't much.
Boardroom.
3 minutes is a lifetime for someone who knows how to use them. Sam's eyes hardened. I taught your grandfather that. Now I'm teaching you. Maya picked up the jammer, felt its weight in her hand. Where will you be? Close. Watching. Sam's jaw set. If you need extraction, I'll be there. Sam, you're 74 years old. And I've been waiting 74 years to matter again. His voice cracked slightly. Let me do this, Maya. Let me protect Antonio's granddaughter the way I couldn't protect him. Maya saw the desperation in his eyes, the need for redemption that had driven him for 50 years. Okay. She took his hand. We do this together. Sam squeezed back. His grip was stronger than his years suggested. Together. The next evening came too fast. Derek picked Maya up at exactly 1800, driving a black SUV with tinted windows. He didn't speak during the 40-minute drive to an industrial area outside the city. The building looked abandoned from outside. Inside, it had been converted into a private training facility. High ceilings, professional mats, camera equipment in every corner, and 5 men waiting in civilian clothes who didn't hide their military bearing. "Miss Torres," Colonel Lawson stepped forward. "Our clients are eager to meet you." Maya scanned the men. Hard eyes, economical movements, the kind of physical confidence that came from years of professional violence. Russian. Had to be. The way they held themselves, the subtle deference they showed to the oldest among them, classic FSB protocol. "Gentlemen, this is our newest asset. Combat veteran. Special operations trained." Lawson smiled. "She's going to show you what American soldiers learn that makes them so effective." The oldest Russian stepped forward. Gray hair, cold blue eyes, a scar running from his temple to his jaw. "I am Victor." His accent was thick, but controlled. "We have heard much about American close combat techniques. Show us what makes your soldiers superior." Maya's heart pounded. This was it. The moment she gathered evidence or died trying. "What would you like to see?" Victor smiled without warmth. "Everything." For the next hour, Maya demonstrated techniques, modified versions, subtle flaws introduced at critical points, leverage angles slightly wrong, timing cues imperceptibly off. To untrained eyes, it looked perfect. To anyone who tried to use these techniques in real combat, they would fail at the worst possible moments. Victor watched with predatory attention. His men practiced each movement, recording everything on multiple devices. "Impressive." Victor nodded slowly. "Your military trains well." "Thank you." "Now," Victor's eyes sharpened. "Show us something not in the manuals, something only the elite learn." Maya felt the trap closing. Give them real techniques and betray her country. Refuse and blow her cover. "I'm not sure what you mean." Victor stepped onto the mat, close enough that Maya could smell cigarettes and expensive cologne. "I mean the techniques they don't write down, the ones passed from operator to operator, the killing techniques." His smile widened. "Don't pretend you don't know them. We've read your file. You've killed with your hands. Show us how." The room went silent. Every eye on Maya. She thought about her grandfather, her father, every soldier who would die if she gave Victor what he wanted. "Those techniques aren't for sale." Victor's smile disappeared. "Everything is for sale, Miss Torres. The question is the price." "Not this." Movement behind her. Derek stepping forward, hand on his weapon. "Maya," his voice carried warning. "Don't be stupid. I agreed to demonstrate standard techniques, not assassination protocols." Maya kept her voice steady. "That wasn't the deal." Victor glanced at Lawson. Something passed between them. "Perhaps we need to renegotiate." Victor gestured to his men. "Convince her." 2 Russians moved toward Maya, professional, flanking. Maya's hand found the signal jammer in her pocket, thumb on the activation switch. "I wouldn't do that." Her voice dropped to ice. "You don't know what I'm capable of." Victor laughed. "1 woman against 7 men. Your confidence is admirable but misplaced." "Then test it." The first Russian lunged. Maya dropped, swept his legs, drove her elbow into his throat as he fell. Second Russian came from behind. She spun, caught his arm, hyperextended the joint until something cracked. Both men down in 4 seconds. The room froze. Victor's eyes widened, then narrowed with new respect. "Impressive. Perhaps we underestimated you." "Most people do." Maya straightened, didn't look at the men groaning on the mat. "I'll demonstrate techniques that are useful for your purposes, But I won't teach you how to assassinate American soldiers. That's my line. Victor considered, exchanged glances with Lawson again. Acceptable, for now. He gestured to his remaining men. Help your colleagues. We continue tomorrow. Maya felt the tension ease slightly. She'd bought time. Not much, but enough. Derek grabbed her arm as she walked toward the exit. His grip was too tight. What the hell was that self-preservation? Maya pulled free. Your clients wanted to test me. Now they know I'm not a pushover. You could have gotten us all killed. But I didn't. She held his eyes. You want me on your team. This is who I am. I don't fold under pressure. That should be an asset, not a problem. Derek's jaw worked. Processing. My father won't be happy. Then explain to him that I just proved my value. Those men will respect me now. That makes me more useful, not less. She walked out before he could respond. Sam was waiting 2 blocks away, engine running. Maya climbed in without a word. I heard everything. Sam's voice was tight. That was too close. But it worked. Maya pulled out her phone, started transmitting recordings to Rachel. I've got faces, names, evidence of foreign operatives receiving training on American soil. Is it enough? Not yet. They're meeting again tomorrow. Bigger demonstration. More clients. Maya leaned back. I need to be there. Get everything. Maya, they're going to push harder. Victor knows you're holding back. I know. She closed her eyes. But I've got 48 hours before they realize I'm playing them. That's enough time to bring down everything. Sam drove in silence for a long moment. Your grandfather would be proud. Maya opened her eyes, looked at the old man who'd carried guilt for 50 years. So would your brothers, Sam, the ones you lost in Vietnam. She touched his arm. Whatever happens next, you didn't run this time. Sam's eyes glistened. He nodded once, kept driving. They didn't know that behind them a black car had been following since they left the industrial building. They didn't know that Victor had ordered surveillance the moment Maya refused his request, and they didn't know that in exactly 12 hours everything would fall apart. The black car followed them all the way to Maya's apartment complex. She didn't notice until Sam killed the engine, and the headlights behind them went dark at the same moment. We've got company. Sam's voice was barely a whisper. Maya's hand moved to her weapon. How many? 1 vehicle. At least 2 occupants. Sam's eyes tracked the rearview mirror. They're not getting out. Just watching. Victor's people has to be. Sam's jaw tightened. They're onto us, Maya. We need to move. Not yet. Maya forced herself to breathe. Think. If we run now, we confirm their suspicions. We go inside, act normal, figure out our next move. And if they come for us tonight... Maya looked at the old green beret, saw the warrior beneath the weathered skin. Then we give them a fight they won't forget. They walked to the apartment without looking back. Every step felt like walking through crosshairs. The door closed behind them, and Maya immediately pulled out her phone. Rachel, we've been followed. Black sedan, 2 occupants. Minimum. Parked outside my building. Rachel's voice came back tight. We see them. Our surveillance picked them up 20 minutes ago. They're FSB Victor's personal security detail. They know I'm working against them. Unknown. Could be standard protocol after your display tonight. Rachel paused. Or they could be planning to make you disappear. What do I do? Nothing changes. If you run, it's over. If you stay, you might still have a chance to finish this. Rachel's voice hardened. Tomorrow's meeting is the key. We need evidence of money changing hands, wire transfers, documentation. Something that proves the Lawsons are receiving payment for treason. And if Victor decides to interrogate me before then you do whatever it takes to survive." Rachel's line went dead. Maya stared at the silent phone. Whatever it takes to survive. Sam was checking windows, mapping exits, reverting to training that never left him. "Back entrance through the basement, fire escape on the east side, roof access if we can pick the lock." He turned to Maya. "I've got enough ammunition for maybe 15 minutes of sustained engagement. Sam, if this goes wrong, it won't." His voice carried conviction he couldn't possibly feel. "We didn't come this far to fail." Maya's burner phone buzzed. Derek's number. "Change of plans." Derek's voice was cold, controlled. "Meeting moved up. Victor wants to see you tonight. 1 hour. Same location." Maya's blood turned to ice. "Why the change?" "Don't ask questions. Just be there." The line clicked dead. Sam had heard enough. His face went gray. "It's a trap." "I know." "Maya, you can't go. They'll kill you." "If I don't go, they'll come here. They'll kill us both. And everything we've worked for dies with us." Maya grabbed her jacket, checked her weapon. "This way at least I control the location." "You don't control anything. You're walking into an ambush." "Then I walk into it with my eyes open." Maya turned to face him. "Sam, listen to me. If I don't make it back, you take the files. Everything. You send them to Rachel, to the press, to every senator on the Armed Services Committee. You burn the Lawsons to the ground." Sam's eyes glistened. "Maya, promise me." The words hung between them. 50 years of guilt. 3 generations of sacrifice. Everything coming down to this moment. "I promise." Sam's voice broke. "But I'm coming with you." "No. You're my backup. You're my insurance." Maya gripped his shoulders. "If I'm compromised, you're the only one who can finish this. You understand, you're the mission now." Sam looked like she'd stabbed him, but he nodded. 1 hour. If I don't hear from you in 1 hour, I send everything. Make it 2. Give me time to work. 1 hour, Maya. That's all I can give you." She didn't argue. Couldn't afford to. The drive to the industrial building took 40 minutes. Maya used every second to prepare mentally, cataloging weapons, mapping escape routes, running scenarios. The black sedan followed at a distance, not hiding anymore. They wanted her to know she was being watched. The building was darker than before, fewer cars in the lot. The silence felt wrong, heavy with anticipation. Maya stepped out of her car. The night air carried a chill that had nothing to do with temperature. The door opened before she reached it. Victor stood in the threshold, backlit by harsh fluorescent light. "Miss Torres, thank you for coming on such short notice." "Did I have a choice?" "We always have choices." Victor smiled, the smile of a snake sizing up prey. "Please, come in. We have much to discuss." The training facility had been transformed. The mats were gone. In their place, a single chair sat beneath a hanging light. 2 of Victor's men flanked the entrance. 2 more waited in the shadows. Colonel Lawson stood near the far wall, arms crossed, face unreadable. Derek was nowhere to be seen. "Sit." Victor gestured to the chair. Maya didn't move. "I prefer to stand." That wasn't a request. The 2 men by the door stepped forward. Maya calculated distances, angles, odds. "What is this about, Victor? It's about trust, Miss Torres." Victor circled her slowly. "Or rather, the lack of it. You see, after you left tonight, we did some research, made some calls." Maya's heart hammered, kept her face neutral. "Your grandfather wasn't just a military legend. He was investigating us. For years." Victor stopped directly in front of her. "He built files, gathered evidence, tried to destroy everything we've built. My grandfather is dead. Yes, we made sure of that. Victor's smile widened. Slowly, painfully. The cancer was just a cover. We had people inside the hospital. By the end, he was begging us to finish it. Rage exploded through Maya's chest. White hot. Blinding. She wanted to kill him. Wanted to wrap her hands around his throat and squeeze until his eyes bulged and his life drained away. But she didn't move. Couldn't. 4 armed men. No backup. No extraction. You're lying. Am I? Victor pulled out his phone, showed her a video. Her grandfather, strapped to a hospital bed, tubes everywhere, a man in scrubs injecting something into his IV line. Antonio Torres looked at the camera. His eyes, those fierce, proud eyes, were dim with pain and drugs. Tell Lawson, he gasped. Tell him, my family will finish this. Maya will... She'll burn you all. The video ended. Maya couldn't breathe. Her grandfather's final moments, used as a threat against her. He died thinking of you. Victor pocketed the phone. Admirable, really. 3 generations of Torres fighters and none of you know when to quit. I'll kill you. Maya's voice was barely human. I swear to God I'll kill you. Perhaps, but not tonight. Victor nodded to his men. Restrain her. They moved fast, professional. Maya fought, took down 2 before the 3rd connected a blow to her temple that sent stars exploding across her vision. When the world cleared, she was in the chair, hands bound behind her, ankles secured to the legs. Victor stood over her. Colonel Lawson had moved closer, his face twisted with something that might have been regret. I warned you, Torres. Lawson's voice was flat. I offered you a way out. Partnership. Protection. You should have taken it. You killed my grandfather. We protected our investment. Antonio was too close to the truth. Lawson shrugged. Business, nothing personal. And my parents, was that business too? Lawson flinched, just slightly. That was before my time. But you knew. You knew they were murdered and you covered it up. Silence. Lawson looked away. Victor pulled up a second chair, sat facing Maya close enough that she could smell cigarettes and death on his breath. Here's what's going to happen, Miss Torres. You're going to tell us everything. Your handler's name, the location of your grandfather's files, every piece of evidence you've gathered. He pulled out a knife. Elegant. Sharp. If you cooperate, I'll make it quick. If not, he pressed the blade against her cheek, drew a thin line of fire. We have all night. Maya felt blood trickle down her face. Warm. Slow. Go to hell, Victor sighed. They always say that at first. The door burst open. Everyone spun. Weapons raised. Sam Crawford stood in the doorway, 74 years old, shaking hands, ancient M16 pressed against his shoulder. Let her go. Victor laughed. The janitor. This is your rescue. I'm not a janitor. Sam's voice didn't waver. I'm Sergeant First Class Samuel Crawford, 82nd Airborne, 3 tours in Vietnam, and I've killed more men than everyone in this room combined. You're also outnumbered and outgunned. Victor gestured lazily. Kill him. 2 Russians moved toward Sam. Sam fired. Both went down before they could raise their weapons. The room erupted. Maya threw herself sideways, chair and all, hit the ground as bullets shredded the air where she'd been. Rolled, felt the bonds on her wrists straining. Sam was moving like a man half his age. The old training surging back. Cover, fire, advance. Another Russian down. Then another. Victor grabbed Maya from behind, knife to her throat. "Stop, or she dies." Sam froze, weapon still raised. "Drop it, old man." Sam's eyes met Maya's. 50 years of guilt, 3 generations of sacrifice, everything compressed into a single moment. She saw his decision before he made it. "Maya." Sam's voice cracked. "Tell your grandfather I finally outran the bullet." "Sam, no," he charged. Victor's gun came up, fired twice. Sam stumbled, kept coming, blood spreading across his chest. Maya screamed, threw herself backward, slammed Victor's head against the concrete floor. The knife clattered away. She was on her feet before Victor could recover. Hands still bound but legs free. She kicked him in the temple. Once, twice, until he stopped moving. Lawson ran for the exit. Maya didn't chase him. Couldn't. Sam lay on the floor, blood pooling beneath him. She dropped to her knees beside him, struggled against her bonds. Sam, hold on." His eyes found hers, gray and fading. Did I get them? You got them. You saved me." Tears streamed down Maya's face. "Just hold on. Help is coming." "No time." Sam coughed, blood on his lips. "The files. Rachel has copies. Finish it." "I will. I promise." "Tell your grandfather." His voice weakened. "Tell him I didn't run this time. He knows Sam. He's watching. He's proud." Sam smiled, the first genuine smile she'd seen from him. "Good." His hand found hers, squeezed weakly. "Good." His eyes closed. Maya held him as the light faded. Held him until sirens split the night. Until Rachel's team burst through the doors. Until someone cut her bonds and tried to pull her away. She didn't let go. Sam Crawford died at 03:47 hours, 50 years after leaving his brothers behind in Vietnam. He died holding the hand of the woman he'd sworn to protect. He died free. And somewhere Maya believed her grandfather was waiting to welcome him home. The aftermath was chaos. Rachel's team secured the scene. 3 Russians dead, Victor in custody. Lawson had escaped, but Not Far Highway Patrol picked him up 20 minutes later, trying to cross into Kentucky. Maya sat in the back of an ambulance, blank-faced, covered in Sam's blood. Rachel approached slowly, sat beside her without speaking. Minutes passed. "He saved my life." Maya's voice was hollow. 74 years old, shaking hands, bad hip, and he walked into a room full of armed men because I asked him to believe in something. He believed in you. He shouldn't have. I got him killed. No. Rachel's voice hardened. The Lawsons got him killed. Victor got him killed. Men who sold out their country for money got him killed. She turned to face Maya. Sam made a choice. The same choice your grandfather made. The same choice your parents made. They fought. They sacrificed. Because that's what warriors do. Maya looked at her hands, Sam's blood drying in the creases. Is it over? Almost. We've got Victor. We've got Lawson. The others are being rounded up as we speak. Rachel paused. But there's something you need to see first. She handed Maya a tablet, a video file queued up. We found this on Victor's phone. He was going to use it as leverage. Maya hit play. The video showed Colonel Lawson sitting across from a man she didn't recognize. Middle Eastern, expensive suit. The Torres woman is becoming a problem. Lawson's voice was tight. She's too close to the truth. Then eliminate her, like you eliminated her grandfather. It's not that simple. She's connected to CIA now. We can't just... You eliminated her parents 30 years ago. Her grandfather 3 years ago. One more should be easy. The video ended. Maya stared at the screen. Her parents. Confirmed. Lawson had ordered their deaths. This is admissible. Rachel's voice was gentle. Combined with everything else, it's enough to bury him. All of them. Maya handed back the tablet. Stood. Legs unsteady, but holding. Where is he? Lawson County lockup. Federal marshals are transferring him to... I want to see him. Rachel hesitated. Maya, that's not a good idea. I don't care. Maya's voice was steel. He killed my family, 3 generations. I want to look him in the eyes before he disappears into a federal prison. Rachel studied her for a long moment, then nodded. I'll make it happen. The county lockup smelled like despair and industrial cleaner. Maya walked through corridors that echoed with her footsteps, Rachel 2 steps behind. Colonel Lawson sat in an interrogation room. Handcuffs, orange jumpsuit. The distinguished officer reduced to just another prisoner. He looked up when Maya entered. Something flickered across his face. Fear. Regret. She couldn't tell anymore. Miss Torres? Colonel. She sat across from him. The table between them felt like an ocean. I suppose you're here to gloat. I'm here to understand. Maya leaned forward. You had everything. Stars on your shoulders. Respect. A legacy. Why throw it all away? Lawson was quiet for a long moment, then laughed. Hollow. Broken. You think I had a choice? They had photographs, affairs, financial problems. Once you're in, you never get out. His eyes dimmed. I tried to protect my son, keep him away from all this. But they got to him too. Derek. He found out about the network when he was 22. Wanted in. Thought it was exciting. Lawson's voice cracked. I tried to stop him. But how do you stop your own son from becoming the monster you created? Maya felt nothing. No sympathy. No understanding. Just cold, hard resolution. You killed my parents. That was Victor's operation. I didn't stop it. Lawson met her eyes. For what it's worth, I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't bring them back. Sorry doesn't give me the 30 years I should have had with my grandfather. Sorry doesn't raise the dead. Maya stood. You're going to spend the rest of your life in a federal prison thinking about everyone you betrayed. Every soldier who died because of your greed. Every family you destroyed. She walked to the door. Stopped. My grandfather's last words were about me. He spent his final breath hoping I would finish what he started. She looked back at Lawson. Tell Victor the same thing when you see him in prison. The Torres family doesn't quit. And we never forget. She walked out. Behind her, Colonel Victor Lawson buried his face in his hands and wept. The federal courthouse erupted when the verdicts came down. 12 guilty verdicts. 12 officers who had sold their country for money and power. Colonel Victor Lawson received life without parole. Victor Petrov faced extradition to face additional charges in 3 other countries. General Morrison, Colonel Whitfield, Dr. Sarah Chen, all of them destined to spend their remaining years behind bars. Maya sat in the back row watching justice unfold. 3 months had passed since that night in the warehouse. 3 months of depositions, evidence reviews, and testimony that laid bare the full scope of the conspiracy. Rachel Kim found her after the final verdict. The CIA agent looked exhausted, but satisfied. It's done. Every single one of them. What about Derek? Cooperated fully. Testified against his father in exchange for reduced charges. Rachel shook her head. 20 years instead of life. He'll be 60 when he gets out. Maya felt nothing. No satisfaction. No closure. Just emptiness, where rage had lived for so long. And the soldiers, the ones they got killed, 7 confirmed. Intelligence leaks led directly to 7 American deaths over 15 years. Rachel's voice tightened. Their families are being notified. Full disclosure. They deserve to know why their loved ones never came home. 7 families. 7 sets of parents, spouses, children who would finally understand what happened to the people they lost. Maya thought about her own family. Her parents dead before she could remember their faces. Her grandfather murdered slowly while pretending to die of natural causes. Sam Crawford, bleeding out on a warehouse floor with 50 years of guilt finally lifted from his shoulders. What happens now? Maya's voice sounded foreign to her own ears. Now, Rachel sat beside her. Now you decide what comes next. CIA wants to recruit you. Officially this time. Your skills, your background, your determination, you'd be an asset. No. The word came out before Maya could think about it. No, I've spent my entire life fighting shadows, following my grandfather's footsteps, carrying a mission I didn't choose. Maya looked at Rachel. I'm done being a weapon. I want to build something instead. Rachel studied her for a long moment, then nodded slowly. What did you have in mind? 2 weeks later, Maya stood outside Fort Campbell's training facility, the same building where everything had started, where she'd watched Derek Lawson humiliate an elderly janitor who turned out to be a hero. The sign on the door was new. The Crawford Center for Military Training Integrity. Maya touched Sam's name, felt the weight of it beneath her fingers. We did it, Sam, she whispered. We burned it all down, and now we're building something better. The dedication ceremony drew hundreds. Current soldiers, veterans, military families, media from across the country. The story had captured national attention, the janitor who was a Green Beret, the woman who exposed treason, the sacrifice that brought down a conspiracy spanning decades. Maya stood at the podium, looking out at faces she didn't recognize, and faces she'd never forget. Private Chen sat in the front row now, Specialist Chen promoted after her testimony about Derek's abuse. Beside her sat 3 other soldiers, who'd finally found the courage to speak up. 6 months ago, I walked into this building to document complaints against an abusive instructor. I expected paperwork. Instead, I found a 74-year-old janitor being shoved to the ground by a man who'd never seen real combat. The audience was silent, listening. That janitor's name was Samuel Crawford, Sergeant First Class 82nd Airborne. 3 tours in Vietnam. 2 Purple Hearts, Bronze Star with Valor. Maya's voice cracked slightly. He spent 12 years cleaning toilets in a building named after men less brave than him. Nobody knew. Nobody asked. He was invisible. She paused, gathered herself. Sam Crawford died saving my life. He walked into a room full of armed men with nothing but an old rifle and 50 years of guilt he'd carried since Vietnam. He didn't hesitate, didn't calculate the odds. He just moved. Because that's what warriors do. Maya looked at Private Chen, at the veterans in the crowd, at the flag snapping in the wind above the building. The Crawford Center exists because Sam existed. Because my grandfather existed. Because every soldier who's ever been abused, overlooked, or silenced deserves someone willing to stand up for them. Her voice strengthened. This program will embed training evaluators in every major military installation. Their mission is simple: protect the vulnerable. Ensure no one is invisible. Hold abusers accountable no matter how many stars they wear or how many connections they have. Applause started. Built. Became something like thunder. Maya waited for it to subside. I want to share something Sam told me the night before he died. He said he'd been waiting 74 years to matter again. To die for something instead of just dying. Her eyes glistened. Sam Crawford mattered. Every soldier who serves matters. Every veteran who struggles to find their place after war matters. And anyone who forgets that truth will answer to the people trained in this building. She stepped back from the podium. The applause returned louder this time. Private Chen was the first to stand. Then another soldier. Then another. Within seconds, the entire audience was on their feet. Maya didn't see them. She was looking at the memorial plaque beside the entrance. Sam's face etched in bronze, her grandfather's name inscribed beneath along with every soldier who'd died because of the Lawson Network's betrayal. We remember. We honor. We continue. After the ceremony, Maya found herself alone in the training facility. The same mats where she'd fought Derek. The same walls that had witnessed humiliation and redemption. You did good today. Maya turned. Rachel Kim stood in the doorway. I meant what I said. I'm not joining the agency. I know. Rachel walked closer. But I have something for you anyway. Call it a retirement gift. She handed Maya an envelope. Inside were 2 photographs, black and white, faded with age. Maya's breath caught. Her parents, young, smiling, holding a baby girl with dark hair and fierce eyes. Where did you get these? Your grandfather's files. They were hidden in a separate cache we only found last week. Rachel's voice softened. He kept them safe for 30 years, waiting for you to be ready. Maya traced her mother's face, her father's smile. The baby she'd been before the world took everything from her. I don't remember them. But they remembered you. Rachel pointed to writing on the back of one photograph. Maya turned it over. For our Maya, be strong, be brave, be kind. We will always love you. Mom and Dad. The tears came before Maya could stop them. 32 years of grief she'd never been allowed to feel. Parents she'd never known mourning the daughter they'd never watch grow up. Rachel stood quietly. Didn't try to comfort her. Just let her feel. When Maya finally looked up, her eyes were red but clear. Thank you. Thank your grandfather. He never stopped fighting for you. Rachel headed for the door. If you ever change your mind about the agency, you know where to find me. Rachel. The agent paused. The soldiers who died because of the leaks. The 7 families. Maya wiped her eyes. I want to meet them. Every single one. That could be arranged. Not officially. Personally. Maya's voice hardened. They deserve to know someone remembers. Someone cares. Someone will never let it happen again. Rachel nodded slowly. I'll make the calls. She walked out. Left Maya alone with her parents' photograph and the weight of everything that had led to this moment. The first family Maya visited lived in Ohio. Maria Gonzalez, mother of Staff Sergeant Pedro Gonzalez, killed in Afghanistan 3 years ago by Taliban fighters who'd been trained using leaked American protocols. Maria answered the door with suspicion that softened when Maya introduced herself. You're the woman from the news, the one who caught them. Yes, ma'am. Why are you here? Maya held out a folder. Because your son deserved better. And you deserve the truth. They sat in Maria's living room, surrounded by photographs of Pedro at every age. Graduation, wedding, holding his newborn daughter. The final photo in his dress uniform, proud and strong, and alive. Maya explained everything. The conspiracy, the leaks, how Pedro's unit had walked into an ambush because their tactics had been sold to the enemy. Maria listened in silence. When Maya finished, the older woman was trembling. "My Pedro. They killed him for money. Yes, ma'am. And they paid for it. Every single one of them." Maria looked at her son's photograph, tears streaming down her weathered face. "Does it help knowing they're in prison?" Maya considered the question. The honest answer. "No, it doesn't bring him back. Nothing can." She took Maria's hands. "But it means his death wasn't invisible. It means someone fought for the truth. It means Pedro's sacrifice is remembered." Maria squeezed Maya's hands, looked at her with eyes that held 30 years of shared grief. "Thank you for not letting them forget my son." Maya visited 6 more families over the next month. Different cities, different stories. Same pain. Each time she shared the truth. Each time she watched grief transform into something else. Not peace that would never come, but acknowledgement. Recognition. The knowledge that someone had cared enough to fight. On her last visit, Maya met Thomas Williams' father of Captain Sarah Williams, killed 4 years ago in a drone strike that had been compromised by leaked intelligence. Thomas was 82 years old, frail, bitter. He didn't want to let Maya in the door. "I've heard enough lies from the military to last a lifetime." "I'm not here to lie, sir. I'm here to tell you the truth about your daughter." Something in Maya's voice made him pause. He studied her face. The scars, the weariness, the determination. "You're that woman, the one on the news." "Yes, sir. They say you lost family, too." "My parents when I was 3. My grandfather 3 years ago." Maya met his eyes. "Both murdered by the same people who got your daughter killed." Thomas was quiet for a long moment, then stepped aside. "Come in." They talked for hours. Thomas showed her Sarah's medals, her letters home. The last photograph she'd sent smiling in front of a helicopter in the desert. She wanted to be a pilot since she was 5 years old. Thomas's voice broke. "Used to jump off the porch with a blanket tied around her neck pretending she could fly." Maya listened. Let him remember his daughter out loud. "The military told me she died in an accident. Equipment malfunction." Thomas's jaw tightened. "I knew they were lying. Sarah was too good to die from equipment malfunction." "She didn't." Maya pulled out a file. "Your daughter's mission was compromised. Her flight path was sold to hostile forces weeks before she flew it. She didn't have a chance." Thomas read the documents. His hands shook. "They knew. The military knew, and they covered it up. Some of them. Not all. The good ones have been fighting to expose this for years." Maya took the file back. "My grandfather was one of them. He died trying to bring these people down. Your daughter's name was in his files. He never forgot her." Thomas looked at Maya with eyes that held decades of grief and anger. "What am I supposed to do with this? I'm 82 years old. My daughter is dead. The people who killed her are in prison." His voice cracked. "What's left?" Maya thought about her grandfather's letter, about Sam's final words, about every sacrifice that had led to this moment. What's left is making sure it never happens again. What's left is honoring her memory by protecting other soldiers from the same fate. Maya stood. "Your daughter died serving her country. She deserves to be remembered as a hero, not a victim." Thomas was quiet. Then slowly, painfully, he rose from his chair. "There's something I want to show you." He led her to a room at the back of the house. Sarah's childhood bedroom preserved like a museum. On the wall hung a poster, a quote Sarah had written in marker when she was 12 years old. Real pilots don't just fly. They carry everyone who believes in them. She believed in something bigger than herself. Thomas touched the words his daughter had written 25 years ago. I'd forgotten that, buried it under all the anger and grief. He turned to Maya. Thank you for reminding me. Maya flew back to Fort Campbell the next day. The Crawford Center was fully operational now. 15 training evaluators deployed across military installations nationwide. A hotline for soldiers to report abuse anonymously. A database tracking complaints that could no longer be buried. Specialist Chen met her at the entrance. Ma'am, you have visitors. Maya followed her inside. In the main training room stood 50 soldiers, new evaluators completing their certification. They snapped to attention when Maya entered. At ease. Maya walked to the front of the room, looked at the faces of men and women who'd volunteered for this mission. You know why you're here. You know what this program represents. But I want to make something clear. She pointed to Sam's memorial plaque. That man spent 12 years invisible, 3 tours in Vietnam, 2 Purple Hearts. And nobody saw him. Nobody asked his story. Nobody protected him when a bully decided to make an example of someone who couldn't fight back. Her voice hardened. Your job is to see the people everyone else ignores, the janitors, the cooks, the junior enlisted nobody thinks matter, because they all matter, every single one. She walked among them, meeting eyes, taking measure. You will face pressure. Powerful people will try to silence you. They'll threaten your careers, your families, your futures. Maya stopped. I know because they threatened mine. They killed my parents, my grandfather, my friend. And I'm still standing here. She returned to the front. The Crawford Center exists because Samuel Crawford believed in something worth dying for. He believed that warriors protect the vulnerable. That strength serves those who cannot fight for themselves. That no soldier should ever feel invisible. Maya straightened. That's your mission now. Carry it. Honor it. Never forget what it cost. She saluted. 50 evaluators saluted back. 3 years passed. The Crawford Center expanded to every major military installation worldwide. Abuse complaints dropped 60%. Accountability became more than a word. It became a culture. Maya never stopped working, never stopped fighting, but she learned to build alongside the destruction. Learned that legacy wasn't just about bringing down enemies. It was about lifting up allies. On the anniversary of Sam's death, Maya visited Arlington National Cemetery. Section 60. 2 graves side by side. Sergeant First Class Samuel Crawford. 82nd Airborne. Bronze Star. Purple Heart. American Hero. Command Sergeant Major Antonio Torres. The Ghost of Khe Sanh. Silver Star with 3 oak leaf clusters. Beloved Grandfather. Eternal Warrior. Maya laid flowers on both graves, stood in silence as wind swept across the rolling hills of headstones. We did it. Her voice was barely a whisper. Everything you fought for. Everything you sacrificed. It mattered. It all mattered. She pulled out the photograph of her parents, the one her grandfather had kept hidden for 30 years. Mom, Dad, I hope you can see this, wherever you are. I hope you know your daughter didn't quit, didn't run, didn't let them win. She placed the photograph between the 2 graves, her family united at last. I'm going to keep fighting, keep building, keep honoring what you started. Maya straightened. Because that's what Torres fighters do. That's what warriors do. She saluted both graves, held it for a long moment. Then Maya Torres walked away from Arlington Cemetery, carrying 4 generations of legacy on her shoulders. Behind her, the wind stirred the flowers she'd left. Somewhere above, clouds parted, and sunlight fell across 2 headstones that would never be forgotten. The inscription on Sam's grave caught the light. True strength protects the powerless. Beside it, Antonio's marker bore the words he'd lived by: warriors don't fight for glory. They fight for those who cannot fight for themselves. And between them, a photograph of 2 young parents holding a baby girl who would grow up to honor every sacrifice they'd made. Maya Torres didn't look back. She didn't need to. The dead weren't behind her anymore. They walked beside her every step of the way into whatever battles waited ahead. Because real warriors never die. They live on in everyone they inspire to stand up, speak out, and fight for what matters. And Maya Torres would fight until her last breath. That was her legacy. That was her truth. That was the only ending this story could ever have.